Stacking my coin, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash.
Oh yeah, people, it's your boy Crypto Blood. Let's get it.
Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin.
Off the chain episode, almost skipped this one. 69, almost went to 70. 69 a little dirty, but anyway, let's go.
These niggas pop, my money keep on. Your girl is a dot.
We got some degenerate guests on tonight, as usual. My man 10 Pound will be joining us. Mind your business and all up in your business. My man Default will be in with us tonight as well. And hopefully Trek with 2Ks will join us. Let's make sure we hit that like, that share, that subscribe. Let's
Chase all this bread, though the shit won't last. About to shut the city down like a crypto crash. Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash, Bitcoin.
It's the best, funniest, most informative live stream in crypto. I'm your host, Crypto Blood. We're going to get started here in a second. Make sure, again, to like, share, and subscribe and get people in here. Let's get those thumbs up going. Let's go.
Steam pot, heat rock, slingshot. Surfing through the city while them chips rise. Hot boy, do it big time. LMA with my summer bay, we booed up. Cali hit the bay, we fly MIA, we pulled up. Sipping on this drink, bitch, I know the way. We juiced up, nigga violate till it's JFK like Jerufa. Coin daddy about them chips, nigga, rap snacks.
Tonight, we're going to be talking about the price of the crypto markets. Is it a bull trap? Is this real? We're kind of stuck at that really critical resistance area that I was talking about. I personally think it's a bull trap, but hey, we'll get the opinions of the panel on that tonight. Also, a big investor in cryptos, I should say NFTs, is saying that the markets look overpriced. He's a little worried about it, but he has an interesting project that we'll talk about on a virtual reality VR metaverse space I've never even heard of. We'll talk about that as well and get your opinions on it in the chat rooms. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Let's go.
I'ma wash them with some Tide detergent. You are fucking with the wrong person. For the coins of people.
Speaking of NFTs, the U.S. Treasury is looking to start investigating NFTs for the purpose of money laundering, terrorist groups, and all that good stuff. You know how they use that as an excuse for everything, to limit everything. So we'll talk about that and how that would affect you going forward in the future as a potential NFT investor. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Man, fuck fiat paper, I'm after a new caper. Staying tuned to the moves of what they do to skyscrapers. I'm rising up to swags of a new.
Also, rug pulls. We got 6 ways you can spot them, and I'll give you some of my feedback on rug pulls. If you don't know what rug pulls are, we'll talk about that, and I'll inform you. They've been around for a while, for sure. Even before DeFi and ICOs and stuff, they just didn't have that name, but we'll talk about that tonight. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Let's get started here.
Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Okay.
Right, let's go, people. Let's go. Episode 69 was a very good year. You don't know nothing about that. Go ahead and unmute yourself, fellas. Let me see if I can do that. We got below me, Mind Your Business in the building. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Doing well. Barely made it in time. I was checking to see if there was a car seller in my town that was willing to sell for crypto, and there was, but I just came back from doing that.
Oh, okay. Did you rob them, as you stated in the? Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I shouldn't snitch them. Listen, people. I'm so glad you guys aren't privy to the
Satoshis. Have you stopped beating your wife on stream? Will you please give us an answer? People want to know.
Hey,
I have listen. Okay, go ahead, Trek.
no, I'm not. I'm not gonna follow up after that one, bro. Not at all.
Listen, some of the conversations we have in our DM on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, I'm glad it's private. That's all I can say. Default, how are you, man? Thanks for joining today with the Hedera hash graph logo there.
Yeah,
I love Hedera. I'm
I've been
a big
showing it.
Hedera fan.
Yeah, I've been showing for the last like week and a half. So, gotta anytime I'm showing something, I'm gonna show it to the fullest. But I'm good, man. It's nice to be on the panel.
What happened to Ken?
It pumped and dumped. I took my profit months, took it like 2 weeks after I was showing it. It's a pump and dump, man.
Oh, so
Crypto.
you're one of the rug pullers.
No,
And we're the rug pullees, so you can explain really how this whole thing goes tonight when we get to that topic. Trek, what's going on, brother?
Another day, bro. Another day, man. Just out here taking in just what it is being in the space.
What is it being in the space?
Yo, in short, like I feel like the longer I'm in, man, the more I'm just reminded that human beings have a habit of just repeating good stuff, but X amount of the bad stuff. Like it's shit is just part of our nature, man.
What's going on? Did someone hurt your feelings in the crypto space this week? You can talk to us.
Bruh. It's more so about just seeing how the certain pockets of the space are developing. Like earlier this morning, I was listening on one of the spaces joint on Twitter, and I was listening to a co-host and the host didn't really do it, but the co-host guy, who I don't know who the dude is, they kind of like browbeat this guy who came in to talk about how he was doing a alpha group, but he didn't have full transparency in how he was doing his calls. And then they were just browbeating him and like talking down to him like, well, we're not going to say you're a scammer, but it was like one of those association arguments.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks sort of like a duck, but it could just be a bird, but not a duck itself. And then the dude got mad about it. And granted, he definitely didn't help his argument with how he tried to counter. But it was just how they talked down to him, and I'm just like, wow. And this was like a whole NFT. It was supposed to be like an NFT spaces thing, and just listening to it and some of the other things that I've seen going on of late, it's just like, damn, this is the bullshit. Like, not enjoying this shit anymore.
Oh wow. Trek with 2Ks. We're gonna be down to Trek with 1K in a minute. Default, how do you feel about the crypto space nowadays? Like
I really don't got no feelings about it. I mean, to me, I'm more of a trader, so it's just another market to, I'm just looking at charts.
Exploit.
He grabbing the bag. He about his business.
Yeah,
that man for what he doing.
It's just a trade for me. Like, it doesn't matter about what people are talking about, but I kind of feel like looking at the price action, to me, it feels like Wall Street owns this market now.
That's funny. Me and my buddy, my longtime buddy, we're talking about that earlier today, and just how price action just drops off on the weekends now with the crypto, with Bitcoin at least. And that's just to me a symbol or evidence that Wall Street has pretty much taken over the price action. The speculative aspect of cryptos is prominent now. It used to be years ago, man, this market would be jumping up and down all 24/7, from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, going right back into Monday. And that's funny you mentioned that. Mind Your Biz, what's going on with you? How do you feel about the crypto markets from like a social standpoint, like relationally?
That's a great way of phrasing it, or a great way of looking at it, right? Framing it is that, I mean, from the social aspect, the funny thing is that, like, if you want the truth about crypto, if you want like the boots on the ground truth of crypto, NFTs, Bitcoin, the public perception, retail perception, go like book an Uber to go across town, right? And then ask your driver, right? You're gonna get the truth. And just going to talk to this guy about this car, just asked him about like, hey, so what do you think about cryptocurrencies? What do you know about them? What have you heard about? He goes, I don't really know how to use them. I'm a little worried because it's volatile, so I don't know what I'm doing. And So yeah, socially, I think it's cryptocurrency is in a better place than it's been in a long time. Right? Like more people have heard about Bitcoin and then all of the cryptocurrencies than ever before. It just keeps on gaining like mind share before it gains market penetration. But then I think a lot of people are sharing the same opinion of this guy, right? Of a lot of retail who are like, well, I don't know. It seems really volatile. It's kind of risky. So unfortunately, we got a lot of uneducated people coming into the space who are going to get dumped on by these VCs, by these investment groups. And, you know, we're going to have a new, basically a new class of plebs that buys tops and sells bottoms. That unfortunately, I think socially, I think that's what I'm seeing is a lot of people who are just not really digging in to get educated on market cycles and this asset class. Unfortunately, I see bad things.
Okay, real quick, like that was part of what Mind Your Business ended with. Like that's the other part that I think those of us who've been in a space for a while, we take certain things for granted. And like that's part of what kind of annoyed me about how they were talking down to this dude and granted, again, he could have been totally full of BS and he could have definitely been scamming the hell out of people. But they like, for as much as we want people to like be educated and learn and hey, don't do risky things if you're not going to do the homework. At the end of the day, like people give two shits about the education or understanding the technical back end of this thing. And the longer I stay in, folks on our level, we're growing into the minority of the users.
I agree with you there.
And so what partly annoyed me about these particular groups, this host group, was they weren't acknowledging that the new people coming in, they don't have that pre-27 mentality. They are like, all right, I'm chasing the bag. Like, oh, it's working out for me, at least for what I can see on the front end. Like, screw the fact that I don't know how to look on the Explorer to see what's actually going on in the transaction, or I don't know how to do certain things within like DeFi and like atomic swaps and stuff like that. They don't care.
So the question is, and we haven't really gotten to tonight's topics, and they are listed in the description of this video, but the question is, Trek, isn't that the direction we should actually be going, where people are using blockchain without knowing they're using it? Is that the ultimate goal?
So we talk about education on the end of like, hey, at least try to have a base level education, right? But what you're talking about is more about user experience, where you're using the technology, but you don't understand how it works. The internet using a laptop or your phone is the same friggin' thing. You don't know how the tech part of it works. You just know how to do an app, make a phone call, do FaceTime with a friend and all the other shit, right? But you don't know how it works. We pushed this idea of education, but it's not actual education on the end of like what I would call like super user and then versus like regular end user, right? Most folks are just regular end users of any technology or product. That is most folks, because that is the easiest market to like push a thing to and get them to be like, all right, well, it has a higher convenience factor. I don't have certain functionalities that I don't understand the importance of. That doesn't matter to me. It has a higher convenience factor. Like,
is that a good thing, Mind Your Biz, that we're heading in that direction?
Well, yes and no. I mean, on the one hand, this is what made Web 2 so dangerous, was that we went from having to like know HTML or learn about CSS. These are relatively new things, right? Versions, the earlier versions, right, of HTML and CSS back when the web was a bit newer. And then Web 2.0 made all this stuff like publishing with a blog way easier. WordPress, right? Which I know it sounds crazy, like those of us now thinking like, hey, WordPress is kind of tricky. It's actually it's not something that most people are inclined to do. But I'll tell you, WordPress is far easier than like trying to code your own website from scratch. And that convenience came at a trade-off with Web 2. And we know now, right, groups like Facebook, now Meta or whatever, like they took everything from their users. They took your identity, they took your face, they took the photos of your children. They're literally holding your family hostage, man. Like, that's what Web 2 cost all of us. They are holding your family and friends hostage.
Like you held a used car man.
I mean,
the used car sales guy. You held him for hostage, man.
There's no record of it. You can't prove it.
You got to do better, man. You got to do better. So you can find these guys, Trek, here on Twitter, as you guys see on the screen. Make sure you go follow him. Trek it's actually Trek W2KS. 2Ks there, as you guys see on the screen. Mind Your Biz, or Mind Your _biz on Twitter. And you can find all the rest of his links on his Twitter profile and all up in your mentions. Check my man out. He's a TA guy, does pretty well with his default signals, indicators he uses. I still don't understand, but tonight, let's go ahead and start off with the first topic, which will be the markets. We have Bitcoin toward the top of that channel. Default, what's going on here? I mean, I thought we would possibly get here after we broke above this trend line here, and we kind of stalled out below that yellow line I had drawn there for a couple of weeks, and now we've broken above it. Are we heading to the top of the channel and then heading lower, or is this over? Are we heading higher for sure?
From what I'm seeing, kind of haven't been on Bitcoin that much because there wasn't a real clear signal. Like I'm chilling, H bar, but from what I'm seeing in the chart,
but H bar is, pretty much H bar's price is predicated on what Bitcoin does.
Yeah, and that's what
right. Ultimately,
when I was publishing, I was saying that as well. But just the technical setup, it would just look, it was a low risk, so I took, the risk. But looking at Bitcoin, the hurdle right now for me is getting over 44 to like 44,500, and making a higher high on the first higher high on the daily since November. I think that is the key area that if we test that and break that, I think we can get like a retraced rally. Like you can get like a 50% rally from the top to the bottom. But I'm not seeing anything definitive, like we're getting any type of divergence or anything on any significant time frame. I'm seeing that more so with the altcoins, with Ethereum, and like I was saying, H bar. Maybe, I don't know. It's not a clear picture. So with Bitcoin right now, it could test those areas like 44,000, 44,500, and sell off again.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say if you're in this market right now, I would be cautious. It could be a bull trap.
And explain to some of the users, the followers, if they don't know, what is a bull trap?
It's basically when you have say you're in a downtrend, which we have been since November.
Yep.
And then you get a rally, and it's really an emotional thing for people that don't understand the technicals. You'll have a 10% run, 10 to 15% pump to the upside, and it might seem like you'll have all this sentiment in the market that we're going to go higher, we're going to go higher, and really it's really just what is called a relief rally, where you get price action to the upside because you've been so depressed in the price action for so long. Right. You just get an impulse up, and then you'll get some sideways consolidation, and then you'll just make lower lows. As
I'm zooming out here, guys, you can see the downward trend we've been in, as Default said, since November 8th, to be honest with you. Yeah. I mean, we've been on a downward spiral here. So we'll have to see what happens. I have this trend line drawn here, and we actually did break above it back here on December 23rd, honestly. So we've been above that trend line for a while. So, it just depends on what the majority of the market, how they look at this, how they perceive this move above this downward trend line that happened back in December 23rd of last year.
But again, the problem has been, as you were saying, when we first started the show, as far as the moves have been really during the week, during when the stock market opens. And so with that type of price action, you're kind of subject to what Wall Street thinks. And
of course,
that to me, that's the major issue right now,
Yeah,
crypto.
you hit it right on the head. Like, it's all about the Federal Reserve, in my opinion. Gaston Cruz just said it's the good old Kobe Bryant pump fake. I mean, he's right. The Fed's going to raise rates, so that's going to affect us from a macro standpoint. And that's my thesis. I don't care if we go up to this top of this channel, break above it a little bit. I think ultimately we head lower until the Federal Reserve changes their mind about interest rates. Mind your biz. What's your thoughts on that? Are you following it from that standpoint?
I mean, not so much. I'm just kind of seeing that we've been in the midst of a correction, and like I'm just looking at just been looking at the charts. The Fed raising interest rates and and whatever us being anticipating a taper tantrum, like that's not in my wheelhouse. So I mean like we discussed last time when I was on your show, like I don't like to comment on that too heavily because I just don't feel like I have a solid enough grasp to know what that's definitely going to do to Bitcoin. But just looking at the charts right now, I do know that we experience manipulation with Bitcoin and with the cryptocurrency markets far more than any other market because we're largely unregulated. So, yeah, I think it's probably smart to take a look at what rate hikes are happening in the near future and what other like macro events could affect it. But I think it's also equally smart to just say like some really big players are onto us as a market, and so manipulation is at an all-time high. Like I would not be shocked at all from that first 1 hour chart that you showed to see that we just slumped right back down towards 35K, and it's just it's a Bart Simpson chart like we're used to seeing in crypto.
Right.
Like we don't see that in other places. Like in crypto, though, we see the Bart
I haven't seen that Bart Simpson default since BitMEX kind of died.
Yeah.
Low key, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen it in years. Well, it's been like 2 years now. Ever since BitMEX lost his market share in the as a leverage exchange and went to Binance, it's been a little bit more predictable.
Organic.
Yeah, a little bit more organic, but there was still trading. There were still moves during the weekend. I haven't seen this type of price action really since is the last 3 months, like the last 3-4 months, it's been like Asia's not really trading, which actually today, right now, this impulse today kind of contradicts that. But also, most of the moves have been during the hours of 9:30 to 4 p.m. Like everything else has been kind of sideways or down. So I think you can call it manipulation. I just think the people that are controlling the price action right now is Wall Street. It's just evident if you look at the time and the major moves, it's usually when the market's open.
Trek with 2Ks that doesn't look at price.
Yeah.
Why I'm even asking you, I have no clue.
Listen, so I will say this on the end of the whole thing with the Fed, man, like they are just really gaslighting the shit out of the American public. And then they also gaslighting to a degree the international market as far as like folks who are, outside of the US jurisdiction. But we all know, like at this stage of it, all other countries look at what the US does, right? On a number of different fronts. And this is just a lot of gaslighting for X amount of the more smarter economic folks that I pay attention to. They're more so seeing them making a front position as like calling something out. But when you look at what their track record has been, or at least how they explain it, it's like, yeah, but when it actually came down to it, they didn't do nothing. They're socially trying to condition the market into moving into a certain direction. And when the time comes, we'll see. Like I've heard some people throw like, oh yeah, they're going to do something like at least 3 or 4 times this year. And then other people are like, no, they're not even going to make 2. They might make 1. And then the number that they actually do won't be what they've been indicating to the public. So
you're referring to interest rate hikes.
Interest rate hikes that's definitely one of the things I keep hearing come up. But I mean, I guess it's more so like, how are you looking at the space? If you're looking at it long term, where you're measuring out in years and decades, you don't really care about any of this stuff in the short term of what the Fed is doing or what, whatever central bank or whatever like administration is currently in saying whatever they're saying. if you're looking at everything as like, how can I price it out and how can I take my gains out into the USD? Like, then yeah, this is kind of at your forefront right now because you're pricing out in USD now versus what is it going to look like 5 or 10, 20 years down the road. You kind of, you get where I'm going?
I want to add something here because he was saying looking at more so the long term, and that's what I've really been looking at. I kind of caught the top in November, and I posted on Twitter, whatever, and it's because I was looking at long term. But when you look at like the monthly chart for Bitcoin, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, and I actually posted this on Twitter. When you look at the long term, you could be like everybody's talking about like a super cycle where like every 4 years or this time is different. There's going to be a longer bull market, and you can make some arguments in that. But you can actually argue, to me, you can argue this whole Bitcoin run has been a super cycle. It's been a 10-year run, and it's been since the interest rate's been low from the Fed for over a decade now. They have hired it, I think, twice. I think it was 16 and 18. But
19, they tried to hire, and we got the temper tantrum. Remember, in 19. So
I think that was the tail
end.
The tail end of 18 and going into 19, I believe. But low interest rates have been the policy for over a decade now. So my thing is, we haven't seen Bitcoin perform in a market where the interest rates are, if they're going to hike them, they're going to hike them. But we haven't seen that as far as price action, with how Bitcoin responds in that type of market. And if you look at the monthly chart, I mean, if we break below 30, actually 29, I think there could be a serious pullback where you could see levels that people think is impossible. But we all been in this space before, so you already know any price is possible in this space. So it's
very true.
What did I say before?
It go up and it go down.
That's all I know. My logic is real simple. It's real simple. And that's why I don't do price talk. I don't know default skill level and being able to do the TA. So I just like, all I know is it go up, it go down. I understand ones and zeros in regards to tech. The tech part works and it makes sense to me. That's it.
All right. Let's move on to the next subject, which is a guy that's really got into cryptos kind of late, but he's doing very well for himself. He used to be in finance, like investment banker guy. I think his name is Colborne Bell, Ivy League guy, and he's saying that he's been in the space for maybe 2 years now, and jumped right into the NFT side of things, and he opened up a what's called the Museum of Crypto Art. Have you guys heard I've never even heard of this Museum of Crypto Art, and they actually have a token as well. Have any of you heard of this museum?
Nope.
I haven't heard of this one, but I know that there are a lot of funds and DAOs that are being set up for fractionalized ownership or indirect ownership of stuff like this. There are a bunch of funds that are happening, and I mean, it's a natural outgrowth, right? Like if you can't pick yourself up a Bored Ape, what's the next best thing? Like, get one.
Bro, this site is horrendous. I don't know what. Come on now, people. What is
That's too much reading right there, and the color scheme.
Oh, the color scheme. Anyway, that's not the point of this. This article out of Fortune talks about him saying that he feels like we're in a crash or about to crash within the NFT space, which would kind of coincide with, the market top as well in crypto, right? He said, I'm prepared, and I think for a cataclysmic market crash. He also goes on to say that he's donated over 150 NFTs to the Genesis collection, and it only includes NFTs that were minted before 2020. But he goes on to say, as far as regarding the crash and how he feels, he says the barrier to entry for artists is much lower than it is for collectors. That's very true. And so basically he says in his mind that formula doesn't work. He says that there is this idea of making everything an NFT, and just because it's become an NFT, it doesn't make it valuable, right? So he says for him, this is when it gets very dangerous and akin to a financial bubble where are we with this NFT space? It is getting out of control. You look at prices on floors of a lot of these NFTs, it's unobtainable, for most people. And it just sounds, it feels like to me one of those Beanie Baby hypes at this point. I'm not saying that it won't serve a purpose and it won't be a lot of growth out of this industry. What do you guys feel about that? Let's start with Mind Your Biz.
Just I think that NFTs are going to be a lot like ICOs. ICOs were a useful tool and vehicle, and they still are, frankly.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you call them, right? IEOs, IDOs, right. STOs. I don't care.
IDEO, yeah, all those terms.
Yeah, whatever your launchpad mechanism is, being able to raise funds in exchange for some kind of an offering and having it be provably tracked ownership on the blockchain makes sense. And NFTs they do fall in that category too, right? Whether people believe it or not, NFTs, the way that they're conducted now, NFT drops, the way they're conducted now, function an awful lot like ICOs did in 2016 and 2017. And I think that's the link to the end of this bull run will be the causal link will be very obviously NFTs, the way that ICOs were pretty closely tied to the end of the 2017 bull run, in that dumb money came in and threw too much after the junk ICOs, and then that some of those projects then market dump. I think we're going to see a similar motion coming out of some of these NFT projects where they say, okay, well, now's as good a time to divest as any other. Let's take that ETH. Let's get out of here. So that's my thought on NFTs, is that we're seeing the first signs of illness for this bull market, and unfortunately, NFTs are taking the place of ICOs from the last one.
Trek, you shaking your head over there, man. What's your thoughts?
For the most part,
you just put out an NFT, by the way, so
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, understand, and shout out to my guy 3D, because that's my co-partner on this.
Yeah, shout out to 3D.
Right? But as far as here's my thing on how I look at NFTs. NFTs are a technology that has a use case of art and content media, right? And so what this person is saying about, there's going to be some kind of crash or correction. Yeah, because you're using the technology for a use case that is solely fucking speculative. Like the whole, and this is going to go into the other article about the whole money laundering thing, which we done said like how long ago? Yo, people is doing shady stuff. Like,
yeah.
We called it how long ago? We didn't need no super authoritative or super technical breakdown. It's like the numbers don't make logical sense. The volume is way too crazy fast. And here, this is the space. This is what happens when you have open enough, technology, and people figure out the base ends and parts on how to use it. Like, they do funny things, and they do what they do. People do what they do, man. They figure out how to make the money, and they go about their business. Now,
I swear, Gaston, I was going to just mention that I saw an article, I think yesterday, about this NFT wash trading. That's a huge thing. People are literally just trading. They're buying their own NFTs and bidding the price up.
Yeah.
And so
ladder trading, gents. Ladder trading.
Ladder
you can
trading.
do that on OpenSea. That's a whole big thing on OpenSea. Like, it's a whole. There are so many, and I've said this before. There are parts of this space that we don't like. In our type of conversations, we could talk about on stuff, but like when you try to talk to the average everyday person who's just coming in, who doesn't care about how the back end of this stuff works, and you start like trying to break down, like, listen, here's how the wash trade and stuff happens, or here's where you need to like actually look at the account that made the art piece and then go back and see whatever else they're connected to. Most folks don't even understand that part of when they go into OpenSea. Like, at a certain point.
So would you tell people to be cautious here with this NFT frenzy that's going on?
Hell yeah. Because at the end of the day, most of the folks FOMOing in right now don't want any loss, any downside. Everyone wants to jump in and just get 100% upside. Like,
so the guy from this article says that it's becoming oversaturated because of how versatile and accessible NFTs are, and it makes him doubtful that the space will survive very long in its current form. I want to ask you, Default, from more of a like a trader standpoint and understanding markets a little bit more as I do. This is a different type of beast. This is not something that's fungible where we could trade one token for another and there's no difference. So that means that the market behavior as far as pricing is going to behave differently. If cryptos pull back, how does the NFT space look from a price perspective? If we have we enter a bear market in cryptos, will the prices sustain? Will they come down? Like, kind of help? Will they be illiquid or what?
Well, I think they just to, say they were bringing up some great points, but usually, and I was looking at this article and I was thinking like, usually when markets crash, there's an imbalance of liquidity. Like usually people are over leveraged. And any like wild swing in the market tends to wipe out that liquidity, and that's why you get the prices that cascaded down. So I'm looking at the NFT market. It's kind of difficult because you really can't I can't chart that whole NFT market.
You can't price it, right?
So
it's very difficult.
Looking at it from like a technical perspective, you really can't. But I heard something. Actually, I read an article. I think it was like a week ago. And they were talking about how they were going to start to allow people to leverage their NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
the loans and all that stuff.
Yeah,
that's
loans,
where
yes.
So what can go wrong?
Yeah.
That's where the problem comes in. So because that's the leverage.
When I was at Decentral conference down in Miami, and again, I'm not in the NFT space like that. Like that's not my area of expertise, but that was the first time I saw anything about loans or loaning against your NFTs. I thought it was I'm like, damn, this is crazy. So I didn't even think about that exposure if things dry up and prices fall.
So I would look to more so like just from experience, looking at seeing that actually grows and there's actually like a lot of funding going in that, because I think that's where you will get your market crash. I think that the current dynamics right now is really user to user, it's peer to peer. So at some price point, there just won't be buyers. So he was making the observation that there's so many sellers now. There's so many people that are jumping in and being creators, but there's not enough buyers to keep up the price. Yeah, you're going to have a correction with that, dynamic. But right now, I mean, I can't even chart this. So I can't, it's all speculation. Unless he on his platform itself, he's starting to see there's less buyers, there's less, there's less volume, there's less appetite for his content. I mean, unless you're owning that unless you're owning OpenSea, I can't, you really have no advantage.
Oh snap! We got the DeFi NFT guy king himself in IRL in real life. He's back. He's back.
No.
Tim Peasy.
You ain't on the boat, bruh.
Not on the boat. Your life ain't what it seems to be. Hey, unmute yourself, brother.
Yo, I want to make a point on something.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Trek. Go ahead, Trek.
So what that dude is sideways arguing is he's arguing for gateguardism back into the space. Because his thing is there's too much content being produced and it's too easily accessible on the side of the creator. So now as a collector who wants to build a certain portfolio, there's too much stuff out there that I can't have this thing and be like, oh, it has a certain level of value to it because it's only this one, right? Even though we saying that it has the non-fungibility aspect to it on the technical side, he's actually sideways arguing for more gate guards and more of the, all right, let's get Sotheby's to be more of a player and more of a getting back.
You think so? I didn't get that from that.
Okay. I can see what Trek is saying here. I'll let you finish, but I think I get it. I'd love to comment after.
It only makes sense if you're saying that I'm a collector and I want to have my collection have a value. I have to limit the other people who are able to put out content that either looks similar to my thing or better than my thing. it only quote works that way in regards to how that revenue model, how that that value proposition is put together. You have to limit the other people. That's just how like the traditional like storefront galleries work. You don't just let any and everybody in. Think about if you go into a major city.
So basically, you're saying eventually the maturation of the NFT market is going to be a bunch of gatekeepers, it's a bunch of Sotheby's, is a bunch of mid tier organizations that kind of validate and put the stamp on certain.
Appraisers.
But you have to have a corny website, Blood. That's the prerequisite. Your website's go corny AF.
Bro, this looks like 10 Pound may have designed this. I don't know. I'm
Purple
just
Rain, bro.
10. Well, actually, let me have MindYourBiz drop in there.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. How you gonna call me out and be like, "Nah, wait, MindYourBiz, MindYourBiz, yo, dog." Let me hear what you guys say about it.
That was cold. It was.
What's going on, 10 Pound, man?
Man, I've been
back from the yacht.
Chilling. I'm working actually, bro. I've been busting ass out here, dude. I'm just moving different, bro. I'm over here in San Diego.
You're over there on 3G. That's what you're on. Get your bandwidth.
What?
Get your broadband up, bro. You're skipping and buffering and stuff. What's going on?
He's becoming the metaverse.
What you mean, bro? I got 5G right now. What are you saying?
Am I the only one experiencing this?
Nah,
he's
choppy.
Man,
you're choppy, man. You're choppy.
All right, fine. I'm dropping off it just to a logo. How about now? Am I good now?
Yeah, you're good now.
Man, that's crazy, bro. I can't believe my service is throttling me like that. I'm just gonna switch to Wi-Fi.
So what's your? I don't know how much of the conversation you heard, 10 Pound, that we were talking about this NFT collector, an art gallery guy. He's saying that this market is about to probably tank because there's just too many people, sellers, as Trek says, too many sellers entering the market because the barrier to entry is so low. Anyone can go mint a NFT, right? So how do you feel about the NFT markets, and how does the NFT markets look for individuals out there looking to invest if we do see a pullback in
I got some crazy alpha. You do not want to hear my perspective, boy. I'm ultra bullish on this space, my dude.
Okay, I would love to hear the opposite. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yo, so I've been advising this one artist who's collected by like I'd say the creme de la creme in this space, bro. Like, so mind you, you're listening to a guy who's probably gonna be kicking it, in LA with some heavy hitters this next week coming up here soon.
Are you referring to yourself in third person?
No, I mean maybe I am, maybe I'm not. No, I mean like, bro. Yo, bro, boy, I wish I could spoil the soup. I wish I could just say what I mean, bro. But like, I don't want to violate anybody's like privacy or NDAs. You know what I'm saying, dude? Like, yo, it's just crazy though. That's all I gotta say about it. Yo, this market is booming, dude.
I asked you a question about.
Yeah, you're right, dude. I'm dodging, dude. I'm ducking and diving right now. Like I'm in the Matrix, you know what I'm saying? Not the new Matrix. I mean like the Matrix Reloaded. Or like
Thank you.
Oh my God, what are you, man? All right, mind your biz. What's your take on it, man?
So I think that Trek is onto something. I think that there is a bit of gatekeeping that goes on in the space. So at Decentral, I did a panel with Mike Salvi. I just interviewed Mike. I'm gonna drop it this week. Had a great interview, great kicking the session with Mike. Yep, go ahead. He's good people, right? And so he jumped on stage with me. We did a little panel with a couple of people who are heavy into the corporate side of NFTs. And I apologize, I jumped off screen here. Y'all are known about these secret dinner making in the middle of a live stream skills, but it happens.
You're a blessed man. You're a blessed man.
Hey, I'm a hungry man, but we're gonna solve that problem. But but we did this panel, and and we had a couple of corporate NFT guys on stage, and they much respect to these guys. They know exactly how to work that side of the NFT game in a way that a lot of us don't. Like that's not the background. It's not what I do. Like the PR stuff, the heavy canvassing of buyers. It's like the old school art galleries where the art gallery opens and all of a sudden they get a painting that sells for $250,000. Like who does that? People like this that really know the NFT drop game. And that contrast, man, having Mike on stage, who's like, he's about as grassroots and real as it gets, right?
Yep.
Like, and
Boy
on the
from
other
Philly.
side,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mike
you got these other guys
is
out there
old
like,
school.
yeah, we managed these influencers and we did this drop and and we whatever. We only put like $2 million of ad spend on it, but then we made $50 million. It's like, dude, very different worlds. And I think Trek is onto something with some of these other people. They're interested in trying to give themselves a competitive advantage and crush the competition in whatever way they can.
Yep, 100%. He's right. He's absolutely right. The NFT game is not cut and dry. It's not, non-political, apolitical, I'd say, when it comes down to who's buying and who's selling and for how much.
Okay. Blood, you remember the conversation me, you, and Rice was having in Miami about some of the content creator stuff and like some of the things that work behind the scenes? It's the same thing on the NFT side, just like 10 Pound and Seth said. Like most folks just see, I saw the thing on Twitter, but the machine behind it and how much money be pumping, like case in point, right? The situation going on right now with Bored Ape Yacht Club.
What's the situation?
There's a whole thing going on talking about like, are they like racist or Nazi supporters or whatever, right? And I was making
where did that come from?
Yeah, where?
Pretty quickly. They got doxxed a few days ago.
Huh? Yeah. It was God, who did it? I forgot who did it. I was kind of surprised too that this organization would actually do it. It's one of the new age media news organizations that doxed them. But my point being is, so basically what happened is some guy was like, he went through all of their visual content stuff and was like, hey, there's a lot of Nazi symbolism. And then he started making these arguments about like, well, we didn't know at the time before they got doxxed who was who. But there's all this symbolism in the thing. And like, he was making connections to the Nazi party and like cartoons that showed stuff from like, so like back in the day, old stuff. And like, but he was saying that with all of these coincidences, what's going on and are they racist and are they Nazi supporters or whatever? And I said to the person who brought it up, I was like, is this them actually being Nazi supporters, or did they just have the money mechanism behind them to be able to see viral trends before they were happening, and they incorporated that into their art, into the visual art part of the whole Bored Ape Yacht Club? And then the person's argument was like, well, I can't see why a PR firm would do something like that. I was like, what do you mean? Like, mind your business. Like when I see things in regards to how it's presented, I always ask questions on the back end of how the technical part went. Like, what's the mechanism that is pushing this out? Is it the algos watching the algos? And I honestly think that Bored Ape Yacht Club, and I'm not saying I've done any like deep research on any of their stuff.
This is all alleged, people. This is all alleged.
I think that they have money behind them, and their funding mechanism is pretty damn good. Considering
George Soros
is
George Soros's
Bored Ape Yacht Club. So Trek, you're right. It was BuzzFeed.
Thank you.
Did the whatever the expose, like, and they found that 2 out of the 4 founders of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, that they're funded by a corporation that was. First off, they filed publicly, man. If you're going to do something and you think you're going to stay anonymous on blockchain, why would you file publicly without going like with an anonymous LLC somewhere? Anyway, the mistakes were made everywhere. Right. But yeah, they doxed these guys, and apparently the money trail behind the corporation that launched Bored Ape Yacht Club, it had a capital Treasury had a treasury of something like $4 billion. It's ridiculously flush with cash.
Jesus
The guys who helped them get bootstrapped. So it's like, it's not even bootstrapping. It's like these guys, they started from this massive strength and hit the market about as hard as you can, and then posed as an organic grassroots project.
Did not know that. Did not know that. Interesting.
So you see what I'm saying? Like, why when I hear stuff and things are presented in a certain light or with a certain narrative, I always question this stuff. And this is the point that I was making to the person over on LinkedIn. It was like, yo, I mean, this could just be a really well-funded, machine.
PSYOP. It's a PSYOP if you think about it as well.
Bro, listen, there's a number of things that I think are PSYOPs that I just have to stand back sometimes and just shake my head and keep it moving.
yeah, straight up.
So you're basically saying that they just are a well-funded marketing campaign.
Yeah,
that sounds like anything else.
Pretty much.
It doesn't. To me, that's not.
Think how many things really blew up organically,
bro?
Not too many things. Whether it's a brand, it doesn't sports gear, whatever. It's definitely normally some hidden players behind it, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tim Peasy,
you're
the NFT guy here. You're subject matter expert.
Technically, my profile picture is an NFT. So yeah, straight up.
Right. So,
you got the
So where do we go from here for the viewers watching? They're in NFTs or they're looking to get into it. How should, not giving financial advice, but how are you playing this space since you're knee deep in it?
Well, I'm making projects. I got collectors just like you, Crypto Blood. Straight up, I'm moving into Solana at the moment, and also I'm going through accelerators. I got a pretty sick project coming soon. I'm not trying to share my own shit, but to be honest with you, really,
yeah.
Yeah, straight up, hell yeah, man. I'm about it.
I don't have people on here that don't allow a shield. You guys
I don't know, Blood.
You're a Crypto Damas friends.
I might have to leave if you let shilling happen somewhere on a crypto show.
Yeah. So this right here is a metaverse world that I've been working on. It's like
so you're
building everything.
You've built it?
Pretty crazy. Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly.
So I was going to ask you if you had ever heard of this metaverse. I've never heard of
Somnium Space.
So what is it?
Yeah, Somnium Space. I've been inside of it. It's not that good, to be honest with you. It's Snoop Dogg's been inside of it too. But bro, this what I got over here, bro, is way higher quality, higher fidelity. You know what I'm saying? Like this is.
So when are you going to be releasing it?
Oh, this is going to be a collection, 112 NFTs, and also I have an Oculus Quest that I'm going to be giving away with the NFT, as well as a full body subwoofer.
Oculus 1 or Oculus 2?
Oculus 2, bro. What do you mean, man?
Hey.
Yeah, it's gonna be wrapping everything.
This, bro.
Yeah.
So help those that don't understand what's the difference. It seems like you guys is a big differentiator between OC 1 and OC 2.
Honestly, it kind of depends on what you're doing. If you're just doing like 3D VR, creation, you can do damn near everything with the Oculus 1. But if you're more into the whole gaming side on stuff, and like doing streaming and stuff like that, it seems like a lot more of the newer softwares coming out for you to be able to cross over, like if you're doing Twitch or YouTube and stuff like that, is somewhat favoring towards the Oculus 2 stuff. Like you gotta search to find some of the side hacks and jailbreaking stuff for Oculus 1 now. Everyone seems to be focused on 2. Even though I don't think the price is worth it. The price point compared to the other VR systems out there is good, but I don't think for what I'm doing, Oculus 2 don't matter.
I got you. Mind your biz. Are you in that space at all?
No, I'm not. It's kind of weird, but being kind of on the privacy advocacy side, I've refused to let advanced headsets be in my life space. Man, I don't have a home assistant.
Powerful.
I don't have Alexa. If you bring one near my home, I will take it out back and literally shoot it. I just don't trust this stuff. A lot of the stuff with an added microphone or an added camera. First off, I don't like having wiretaps around me, but I definitely don't like paying a premium to have them around.
Damn.
Yeah.
Good point.
Like-
Very good point.
Oof. My guy just straight up bodying my freaking business plan over here, bro. And it's like, nah, man, you need to get that NSA spying device out of my house, all right?
I need 2025 to hurry up and get here.
Here's the thing: if you want to go to some blue ocean, though, 10PZ, like hit me up about doing some of that stuff in a way that doesn't spy on users. And I promise you, when the pendulum swings the other way,
here's the thing.
There will be.
Here's the thing, man. You don't even understand yet, bro. Here's the thing, bro. You can get in here without having a headset on. You can run in 2D mode. Like I just showed you this thing being in 2D mode, bro. Like you were looking at my laptop screen, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not in VR right now, bro. I'm in reality, man. I'm not in the metaverse. Technically, I am. I'm running my own metaverse server right now. But like, yeah, straight up.
So do me a solid. Run it in anaglyph mode. Run it in stereo anaglyph mode, and I'll get the red and cyan little overlays because I wear the old man glasses anyway, so I wear the readers anyway. Like I don't care what I look like. I'll throw those back over my regular reading glasses. I'll do it in 3D, but I won't do it with a headset that I know is spying on me.
Well, you could just straight up jailbreak it, right?
Yeah.
But come on, man. I'm not talking about this. Isn't Somnium Space, man. We're not. Please don't start showing Somnium Space, bro. This is
the reason I have this up, 10PZ, is because this is where this guy has. I've never heard of this metaverse. He has selected this metaverse for where this his I don't know, NFT art gallery is.
Okay, word.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because the Winklevoss twins are still in Somnium Space too. They're heavily
is that
involved.
What it is?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So Nifty Gateway folks love to be on Somnium Space. You know what I mean?
I'm just getting into the metaverse piece, man. I'm really excited about and been buying property in Upland. How do you feel about Upland?
Oh, bro, Upland, that's like Linden Labs. That's that Linden Labs swag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you should do it, bro. That's gonna be AR, bro. I think it's gonna go
I
very
think
well.
eventually they're gonna add that additional layer to Upland where like you said, AR and of course VR to the component, and I think the prices will really move higher once that component gets in there. So I'm just buying up a whole bunch of land right now.
Word, man. That's not a bad play. It's good, man. Build your portfolio, crypto blood. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Default, are you in the space at all, or you just trade in do you go into the VR into the metaverse to trade?
Nah.
On the charts?
Nah, that's all that nerd shit, man. I live in the real world, man. Y'all can metaverse yourself out. I'm good, man. Like I keep everything.
No, I will say I kind of had that thought too, but then I had an epiphany, man. I really think this will be like the next gold rush, like the next it just depends on which metaverse is going to take market share. But I think if people start buying up properties and parcels and stuff now, whichever one does hit will be, I mean, we're already seeing this like the Decentraland, and Sandbox. Those parcels are expensive as hell now. But I think it'll continually head in that direction, and why not diversify your crypto portfolio a little bit?
I do not argue against that. I'm just that's out my lane. Like MindYourBiz said, he's not into the technicals.
Bro, you straight up, bro. You do realize Hedera actually has metaverse on its roadmap, right?
Okay.
Like literally, yeah. Just straight up letting you know, bro. Like, dude, like.
Yeah, but
I think we will mostly interact. I think we will mostly interact with one another in some type of metaverse. Like I really feel that way. It won't be a browser anymore, or if it is a browser, it's a web application that's showing you whatever you're looking for in some type of 3D spatial.
Yeah, but I think that all that stuff matters right now for Hedera Hashgraph because it's selling the right. It's buying the rumor. It's buying the rumor at this point. So like in a bit like how in most Silicon Valley startups in 2015, like everybody here is old enough to remember. Like we know 2015, you saw on the pitch deck, we're using blockchain technology.
Oh, and that
instant
just
$5 million extra raise, right? Like, or somebody on the panel is like, approved, cool, like you're on my team, like get them into the incubator. That was it. You didn't even have to use it. You just had to say you were going to use blockchain tech. That's how you could buy the rumor at that point. Fast forward a couple of years, and it was like, well, we have an ICO for our additional raise, and you'll have fractional ownership because we got a coin supply. Done. Like it's just the buzzwords keep on coming in to that side of it. I'm not saying that there aren't people delivering because there are. Like clearly, 10PZ is in that space. He's among the builders who's trying to deliver. So that's going to endure. But I think when it comes to like fundamental analysis of some of these projects, the fact that they say that something is roadmapped, we should be very, very skeptical, right? 2018 taught us that with masternodes too, right? The whole idea of like, okay, well, get this much coin supply, lock it up, run this server that is supposed to help us replace proof of work with proof of stake. Like there's so much buzz that just kind of rotates from one market cycle to the next. And right now, I think anybody who's saying like, oh, we've got our plans for the metaverse, cool story, bro. Do you have a functioning game right now? Do you have a functioning ecosystem right now? Do people actually want to play with your stuff? Like, sorry, phrasing. Do people actually want to be involved in your ecosystem right now?
Yeah, pause. Yo. Yeah.
No, as Ken too said something pretty. I like what he's saying here. It's all about NFTs with DeFi and games combined in the metaverse.
Facts.
So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of synergy between cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, all that. I look at metaverse as encompassing all of it. So why not be a part of it? I think you'll pan out pretty well for you financially. Before we head on to the next article, I do want to talk about YouTube. I didn't send this article to you guys, but what do you feel about and how do you see NFTs being integrated into YouTube? Like that was pretty crazy to hear the CEO. And this kind of goes to your point, Mind Your Biz, is it's just a buzzword, right? People are just going ahead and saying it, getting their public, their investors excited, right? Keep that Google stock going up, Alphabet stock going up.
And this is Alphabet also reacting, man, because you do realize that their guy got poached. Their guy got poached by Polygon Studios. Their guy got poached by the crypto space.
Oh wow. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, facts. Big facts.
So what does NFTs look like within YouTube? Just throw your wildest guess out there.
Gated live streams. Or hyper exclusive. I don't know. I don't get it. Yeah, that's the only reason why I believe so.
I'm thinking I just can't put really anything together yet. And maybe they can't either. They're just throwing it out there, mind your business.
Yeah, no, I think they are. In their case, I think that's true because YouTube Gaming, their head guy got poached by Polygon Studios, which I think
Stadium is done. Stadia?
No, Stadia is still running. That's the problem. Stadia is still running, but it's a zombie service, right? It's like it's a dead service walking. Like they can't afford to run it, but it's still running. There's all kinds of problems over with Alphabet, and they don't want anybody to know how incredibly backwards they are. They're finally the last ones to know what the trends really are. Ironically, even though they run Google Trends, but they're suffering brain drain. Nobody who has a brain wants to stay with them.
That's kind of crazy. I like Stadia, to be honest with you guys. I think Stadia is really cool. Even though it's a zombie, it's very innovative.
As far as this YouTube thing, it's going to be the high, echelon folks who are going to test it out first. And I can see the execution going really bad because then it's going to get into, well, you can't use certain images, right? Then it's going to get into, well, you have to do an avatar and it has to meet X amount of Y and Z things. It'll probably be at least like 2-3 years worth of like them testing stuff out to see like, are people gonna accept doing avatar or NFTs in this artistic or like PFP sense in YouTube? I just see it as another control point. You're gonna go through all of the energy and effort to integrate this new feature, build your audience also around having this feature, and then for whatever reason, 2-3 years down the road or in 6 months, you're going to say something that the algorithms doesn't consider good, and all of a sudden your NFT is going to be a circle with a cross through it. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I didn't know this shit.
Yeah, that sounds like some Orwellian bullshit for sure.
I couldn't think of an application that would be useful with YouTube and NFTs at this moment. You know, I have to think more about it. But
no, let's be real here though. Theta TV.
Yeah,
they patent the ability to tap into a live stream via NFT.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
okay. So that is a utility aspect of it. Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
I will say about Stadia though, really quickly. Like, I think it's a great concept, and it's going to be the future. Maybe Google just was too soon. It's all about timing, right? You can have a great idea, but the timing has to be perfect as well. And so I think their timing is off with Stadia, and you will start to see most console gaming. It won't be a console anymore. It'll be web, cloud based, right?
Yeah, it will be streaming. Yeah, honestly, I enjoy being able to play a AAA quality game on my cell phone over a mobile network. I think it's pretty neat. That's just me, though.
Even Stadia wasn't the first to market with that, and I'm forgetting the name of the service that it was. But I mean, you remember it back 2011. This stuff isn't new, man. We've had broadband.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
That's very true. That's very true. Jay Crypto Minded, he wanted us to say Reggie Middleton name 3 times like Candyman, I guess. All these running on Reggie Middleton patent. We're not even going to get into that today, buddy. I'm sorry. I know you tried to bait us. We're not going to do it. Not going to talk Reggie today.
Good bait, sir. Good bait.
Yeah, good bait. Very good bait. Speaking of NFTs, we got the U.S. Treasury targets NFTs for potential high-value art money laundering. I mean, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, Trek. You want to chime in on this? Because this is definitely something that I think they're the bad guy, if you want to call them bad guys. The underground people are already doing. They're probably washing so much money through NFTs, it doesn't make sense.
Bruh, if you notice, okay, and I don't know, maybe MindYourBiz or 10 Pound might have been paying attention on this. When NFTs started getting a run was around the same time China started doing capital flight, increasing their capital flight regulations. And they were clamping down on how you can move money out of mainland. And like one of the other ways that you can kind of do it is doing stuff in Hong Kong, because Hong Kong has like a real huge metals market thing. But the point being is that there are other things that are going on like in the world in general in finance that are playing out in this crypto, NFT, metaverse, whatever space. Like I forgot the name of this book that I was reading last month, but they were making a point about how people will go out and no, it wasn't a book. It was a Netflix joint. Basic idea is that this whole crypto space, and we've said this for years, is about experimentations, right? And the crypto part of it in particular is about folks trying to figure out how to run new kind of financial models and concepts. This is literally like the black market side is in an overall of you have what is inside the line and then you have what's outside. And X amount of what's going on outside the line is people trying to figure out How can we move money around in a more cheaper and efficient way? How can we do something where I can still have a transaction as far as it happening, but I can still maintain a level of privacy in regards to who I did it with? That's all the experimentation going on outside of what is in the walled garden. This NFT thing was just another example of, hey, somebody figured out, there's this other digital asset that we could associate a value with, and I can transfer it, and it's outside of the regulated walled garden. And I'm just saying, I happen to know this really started taking off when China started putting in more capital flight regulations for mainland China. And then what was that, like 2016 or 15 into 18 or something? A lot of folks was doing Toronto, Ottawa, and there was another place up in Canada that they were just buying property, but they would never live in them. The places was just sitting on the market. So Canada got pissed about it and was like, all right, well, y'all can't do that here no more.
Yeah,
like,
they do that. They do that big time in the UK, Billionaires Row or whatever it's called. But you sent me an article here, Mind Your Biz. Tell us what this is all about here.
So I'm just going to agree with Trek, and I think that that's really strong detective work on his part from a macro perspective. Just saying like, hey, we saw things kind of cool off over here and things heat up over here, and I mean, putting those two and two together, I think makes sense. This article is it's a throwback to World War II and occupied France, right? So when Germany was occupying France, we saw it wasn't capital flight per se, but we did see fine art that already had market valuation assigned to it disappear from galleries. The Mona Lisa, for example, was housed at the Louvre in Paris during World War II. It disappeared, but it disappeared because of people who were trying to protect it, and then I think with good reason, Hitler himself, right? Like here we could talk about Hitler, but we're going to literally talk about Hitler on this segment. I'm not going to compare him to anybody else or whatever else. Apparently, Hitler had an idea that when they did raid the Jewish museums and the Jewish galleries, that he'd be able to take that, and it had a couple of things, right? It represented some kind of conquest on his part, but it also represented the actual market value of that art. And I think right now with NFTs, it's just like how art has always been. It was a convenient vehicle for value to move from a place where that capital is being threatened. And like Trek is saying, it's capital flight away from very austere and very dangerous conditions over to some place where maybe the people who hold that value get to live to see another day, and then distribute that value in a different way. But in the meantime, it's NFTs. And what the Treasury is doing, I think, what they're talking about, like trying to equate all of these movements of NFTs to like crime. I think right now they're beginning a smear campaign to try to make traditional investors weary of dealing with NFTs at all, which I think is a huge mistake. Even though there are some bad actors there, and ladder traders and wash traders and legit criminals in this space, like there's a percentage of that. I don't think the Treasury can make the case that everybody who's building in the NFT space is somehow associated with crime or is going to touch a filthy dollar, right? Like, look who's talking, man. Every dollar bill, every $20 bill in circulation has cocaine on it. You guys need to learn how to pick your battles. So,
but remember, Seth,
right?
What Whoopi said. The Holocaust was not about race. Man, she looks okay. Never mind. I'm getting off topic here. What were you about to say, Trey?
So, all right. So, I remember. I think this was us that we were making a point about this, where when we first started seeing all of this new pump about the price and how things were selling and what was going on with like the overall market volume. And this is one of the things we said, like, what was this, like maybe 21 or 20? You're killing me, bro. Was how if you're looking to move your funds, like I don't necessarily think that it is an altruistic move for some of what's going on the back end, right? At the end of the day, if you got a certain level of value and you want to move it from one point to the other, you know that there are certain risk factors to it. And with this money laundering thing, okay, I'll also point out, I did not understand what the closer of that article was about, because then it's like they were pumping this lady's thing that had nothing to do with the rest of the Treasury.
Oh yeah, so Crypto Mom here. I don't know what that was about. That was a little weird.
I'm not knocking her.
Yeah.
I don't need nobody going out there saying, "Oh, some dude on the internet talking about you." I'm not. I just didn't understand what the correlation of her tweet in relation to the rest of the story was.
Yeah, I couldn't understand that either.
I think they were trying to like use her as an example for.
Don't be using always using the black folk as an example.
Yeah, I mean that's the game, but
she's doing good by herself. She's not money laundering with NFTs.
Mind you, you talk about all of this negative forefront in the story, and then you give an example of somebody who, because like 10 out of 10, she filing all her tax paperwork.
For sure.
She ain't messing around none at all.
No.
Right? So what is all of this front end negative story of fraudulent activity and money laundering to then be like, yeah, but we're gonna close it off with someone who like it.
Yeah, I didn't understand the spin on that at all.
Maybe the author was talking to Paul Krugman. Remember last week, y'all were talking about how Paul Krugman was saying that most of the people in crypto were not white or something like that. So
uneducated, non-white. Oh my God, bro. Horrible. The thing is, though, was I didn't know this figure here, guys. The first 3 months of 2021, the market for NFTs generated 1.5 billion in trading. That is insane. And all of 2020, they did 20 billion in trading. So that is a lot of money for the IRS or the Treasury not to have some type of surveillance over.
But that's also with price fluctuation, bro. Like value price fluctuation is going on that. And the other part, like, again, people gonna do what people gonna do, man. Like, and we talked about this way back when, as far as the money laundering thing. If you got $120 million and you know if you try to walk out the front door with it, they're gonna take half of it from you. But versus if you do this sideways crypto thing, you might lose maybe 15% of it versus half. What you gonna do?
Not even that. Like if you do it, and this article talked about a lot of side deals that were going on between peer-to-peer trading of NFTs, where it's not going through an OpenSea, or it's not, it's like OTC.
But it's still on the blockchain, bro. This the same dumb shit that I'm talking about.
No, but it's not. Like I could literally just send it to another wallet and that's it. And then the money is transferred on the back end behind closed doors.
No. Okay, so what we're talking about is the currency and value of that digital item is being pushed around on another payment rail. But as far as that digital item within this NFT crypto ecosystem thing,
but who makes the value of that at that point? It's not listed on OpenSea. It's not. There's no public value placed on it from a marketplace, right? So I could just transfer this NFT to you with no value, and send you.
There is a value because you got to put in a price marker on that item on OpenSea. Now, as for whether you use another currency or value system to then transfer the
what I'm saying is they're circumventing OpenSea altogether, Trek. That's what this article is alluding to, at least.
So now we're saying that we need to have a middleman in order for that. Like this is a sideways argument of like peer-to-peer, which is the whole original argument of this thing, is a bad thing.
No, it's not. I'm saying that is a way for people to wash their money if they wanted to. Straight peer-to-peer transactional event of an NFT, not going through OpenSea, not going through Rarible, not going through any of these marketplaces.
Which is sideways.
How can they stop? How can the Treasury stop that?
I'm not saying they can. I'm just saying that this argument sounds like a sideways of, hey, peer-to-peer is not a good thing. It's only what criminals and bad coder hacker people do.
Preach, Trek. Yes, I agree. I've got a problem with this. The frame that it's all put into, it's basically it's it's the Treasury getting ready, like preparing people for new rules to come in with alongside the IRS and the SEC and FinCEN and all the rest, all just basically saying like, hey, this is crypto's too dangerous for the people, and you don't understand. You're interacting with dangerous people, and bad things have happened. So we can't ever let bad things happen again. So let us regulate more. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
this is the part in the article, Trek, that I was talking about. They were saying they were just highlighting the fact that NFTs can be also sold via peer-to-peer sales, which bypasses the need for any intermediary or recording the transaction over public ledger. Well, I mean, it's still, I mean, you could do a situation where it literally never is transferred from one wallet to another. That person literally just gives that person the private keys to that wallet.
Yep.
Exchanges the money on the back end. Yep. Boom. You never knew. You never. It was never even made public on the blockchain.
That's a whole different way of
I love it. I love it.
Listen, I'm not even mad about it. I'm so not even mad about it. I appreciate the innovation in understanding how to do that. What I'm annoyed about is the way that this story is sideways framing, hey, peer-to-peer as a way of doing cryptocurrency or any type of value exchange is a quote bad thing if you don't have a middle person in there who can watch and make sure both parties are good actors.
Well, that's what I don't like. That's what the government is, going to step in on every situation in cryptocurrency. This is the same type of rhetoric they were using against cryptocurrency in 15, 16. Even, your financial institutions were having the same rhetoric because they're really the ones that are setting this type of policy. Because you keep talking about gatekeepers, they want to be the gatekeeper. They want to be that middleman. So they're using the government. To me, this is my personal opinion. They use the government as a tool to be that gatekeeper, and the government also has incentives because they want to cut. They want a cut of all those sales. So to me, this is not surprising. And just one more point, just to tie this back to the other article where the guy was talking about some type of crash in the NFT market.
Mm-hmm.
If the government does step in, just like with ICOs in 2018, this would be the catalyst.
That's a very good point. Yeah, to a certain extent, that's a very good point. But this brings me I just thought about this. This is why I love blockchain, because you literally can start having wallets that are denominated in like whole numbers of certain cryptos, and you just literally hand people the private keys and never make that on-chain transaction. You know what I mean? And I remember reporting years back of a bill, like there was a company out of Japan, I believe, that started creating these bills that had essentially like a wallet that had a whole denominated number of certain currencies, cryptocurrencies, and you just pass them around. So how
QR codes all day, bro.
Yeah.
And what is it? NFC technology.
NFC, near field.
The same thing with that. Me and Ken was talking about that like 2-3 years ago, and Ken been on it for like even longer.
Yeah, you can near field your private keys to another. I mean, and MindYourBiz can speak to this. He's more on the hardware technical side of things, but isn't that a way that people can still keep their privacy and circumvent some of the draconian laws that may be coming down the pike?
Yeah, no, it's and there's a long history of it too. Cassacious coins in the Bitcoin.
Yeah,
space.
Cassacious. I remember those. Yep.
Yeah, I mean they're still around, and and for people who haven't pulled any of the value off of that bearer instrument, like they're still around. You can still find them. It's crazy to think that there are still some Cassacious coins that are 1,000 BTC because they're
yeah, that's true. That is very true.
Like a paper wallet. Like you could turn paper bills. You can have paper cryptocurrency by just printing out a paper wallet, folding it, and you do some Scotch tape. Just hand it to somebody.
Yeah, man, I wish I would have bought some of these back in the day. What were you gonna say, Trek?
I don't even remember right now. I'm trying to answer somebody back in the chat.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting take there, fellas. I do want to jump over to the one article that I definitely want to talk about is this whole rug pull thing. You guys, have you been victims of rug pulls in the past? Let's just
Of
go
course.
down the list. Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody has been rug pulled in this chat, dude. Like straight up. What do you mean?
If
Yeah,
you
everybody's been rugged, bro.
if you in crypto and have the rug pull, you ain't in crypto then.
Yeah. Facts, big facts.
But
So
that's what I'm talking about. This new group don't
tell them why you mad, son. Mad rapper. Tell them why you mad.
This new wave, they don't want to deal with none of this. Like we talk and we joke about the whole like, oh, you've been in a rug pull situation. Oh, you did something stupid with a wallet. Like we come from that part of like you expect to go through the risk side of it. This new wave coming in, like, and this goes to the other thing about the education thing, like I was saying. They wrote this piece, they give you the points. Hey, watch out for this if the price moves a certain way. Watch out for limits on the spending. Watch out for, and people are still going to FOMO in because they don't care about actually like, they don't care about the possibility of the downside. They want the upside, but they also don't want to protect themselves from the downside. Like, how does that work? I don't know, but obviously,
so I'm wondering how Voice Crypto was rugged by DYDX. Aren't they like an official, legit?
Yeah, ain't that an exchange, right?
Maybe the fees.
Huh?
Maybe because the fees are so high.
Yeah, man, Coinbase got the Coinbase got the crazy fees, horrible customer support. They closed down when the market moved too fast, up or down, and they still get to exist. Nobody ain't calling them rug pullers.
So there are three main types of rug pulls. Liquidity stealing, that's what most of us, kind of know. It's limit sell orders and dumping. Now, I will have to say, like, I did a review of a company last week, actually, that I think did a limit, what they call limiting sell orders scheme. And I renamed the video and everything, but essentially, like, people call it honeypot. So you invest in this project, but in the code, you can't extract the money. Like it's one way in, no way out. And so I think that's what this project did. So it's very hard unless you want to take the time, and most people don't want to take 2-3 hours out of their day to go through and look at these projects and look at the code. Most people don't even know how to properly look at Solidity code or other forms of blockchain code. So it's very intensive, physically time consuming for people to go through and look at how to protect themselves from these rug pulls. But lately, have you guys seen any big ones that you are aware of, want to talk about?
I mean, is no one going to mention the wormhole contract?
There you go.
That was a good one, bro.
Well, I don't know if you want to. Is that a rug pull though? Mind your biz.
Personally, I think it is for investor confidence. Nobody should trust wormhole after that point. And this is not me trying to throw like one specific group under the bus, but I'm sorry. How do you take a $250 million L, replace it
325?
Oh my gosh! Thank you. More than $250 million. How do you take that big an L? How do you swallow that? Right? Like it's like that last fight that Ronda Rousey did. You ever see that one where she was like, where her mental game was shot? She kept on eating like right jabs. Like she ate like a dozen of them, like literally 12 of them, and she stayed on her feet like totally punch drunk. But like that is Solana right now. And nobody's stopping to ask, like, okay, after all the validator shutdowns, and now they stole $320 million. Like, how do you not at a certain point just say, like, yeah, we kind of got rugged. We were sold a bill of goods.
Wait, have you heard the back end of how that worked technically?
Yeah, I heard, dude. That shit was atrocious. It was pretty much public. It was an issue. I was on the GitHub, and somebody just looked at the issue and then practically exploited them. It's so ironic.
Is there some suspicion with that though, Tim Peasy?
I'm not sure, man. Honestly, it's kind of crazy to me. I was using the tech, to be honest with you.
Honestly, I was more I was more surprised that they got backed by their parent company that quickly. Like, damn, these guys got that much money they can just replace 325 like that.
Okay,
Yeah,
That's
bro.
crazy.
They balling, bro.
Imagine what they can do to pump their bags later on. Imagine what they can do. Imagine what their fault tolerance is to be able to dump on you in the future. If they can do a $300+ million L and be like, cost of doing business.
Right.
What are they waiting to do to you later on?
Okay, so here's a question for you, right? What is that going to do? Because this is the one where it was the ETH and it was the other pair, like it was wrapped up in the some other pairing. Okay.
Yes.
What is this going to do down the road with that ETH if it gets released somehow? What is that going to do to the market?
I believe it was already traded. Most of they were following the wallets from the hack, and they were following like the transactions where it moved to. A lot of that ETH was already being, liquidated.
That would be a lick of a century. That would be a lick of the century, Mind Your Biz, if, like you said, if Wormhole actually did the hack, took the money, and then had their parent company come back and put the money back in. That's crazy.
Yo, is that a double spend?
That's a double spend to me.
It's crypto though, man. Like we've seen stranger things. Like that wouldn't be the weirdest hack we've seen in the past.
Okay, no, remember remember Quadrica CX or whatever? The co-founder mysteriously dies in India. And then the new guy, the other guy that's still alive, went over to what's that project? Wonder Time. That went under. So yeah, you're right, man. Crypto. Welcome to crypto. It's crazy, man.
That was going to be because I had a little bit in Wonder Time. I just got broke from that. Yeah, so just bringing that up, that was my latest one. But
can you really protect yourself honestly from a rug pull?
No, because you don't. It's all about the developers. If any protocol or any coin can. If they take the liquidity, depending on like what type of protocol you're in, if they take the liquidity like in this worm hack, or you just have the liquidity on Uniswap.
It's a numbers game though. Okay, when I say it's a numbers game, I mean if you're somebody who's on the trading side of the house and you out here doing X amount of due diligence and then you touching on multiple different projects, the odds are for every 2-3 projects that you touch on, you're going to go up a percentage or more on the chance of that being the rug pull, whether it be the code messed up, whether it be a bad actor, whatever, right? Versus if you're somebody who's just, I'm going to work my regular ass 9-to-5 job and I'm going to just dollar cost average in on the quote, like major name things. And that's all you do. You reduce your rug pull chance very, very much, right?
What about would you guys invest in unknown anonymous projects? We're gonna have to go down. We're gonna have to go down that
on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to if we want to keep the integrity of truly what blockchain is about. We're gonna have to be comfortable with that. Investing in DAOs, joining DAOs, and stuff like that, where people don't want to be doxxed. You create the project through a DAO. Those individuals will be unknown. So do we have to become comfortable with that, or how do you guys think about that whole situation?
Bitcoin, you have invested in a anonymous creator. So that's the baseline. That's the backbone of the whole space. So I've certain projects I've invested in. I didn't know who the dev is, but that's the risk you take in this market.
The new folks don't want to hear that shit, bro. Like they want their money, they want their gains.
It's JG Wentworth, and I want my money. And I want it now.
Bottom line, I want to make whatever gains I can make. I don't care about all of this other stuff. 2 licks about Satoshi, 2 licks about anonymized people, whatever. All I know is when the market don't do what it's supposed to do and I make my gains, I better be able to call customer support to be able to say, hey, where did y'all fuck up at? That's what the new folks coming in want, because that's what they're used to. They didn't have none of the last decade stuff. It amazes me how fish brain people are individually and then collectively. Like, what is
Fish brain? That's a
fish
new
brain?
one for
Okay,
me.
so like,
That
you never
must be
heard
some B more stuff. Some
not at all, bro. Not at
fish
all.
brain.
Meaning the short-term memory recall that we have about events and things that happen, or like,
you're talking about having the memory of a goldfish.
thank you. I just call them fish brain for short, man.
I hear you. I hear you. No, I mean, what about suspiciously high yields? Is that game over? You know, when we first got into the DeFi world really getting started hot, all those high yields were normal.
Yeah, but that's when crypto mining came, like the GPU miners, we were having a great time during that period because of the gas fees that were being run up on Ethereum. DeFi Summer 1 was great, like you're saying. I mean, it was beautiful, but man, did it cost a pretty penny to play that game. It was a lot, right? Like, so finding those yields and then being able to chase the yield on a brand new liquidity pair and then be able to actually realize profit before your gas fees ate up your profit margin and
Right.
before that new project became
Wow.
illiquid or the pair it resulted in
tough
permanent
game.
loss. Yeah, man. I mean, it was like whatever, 7-dimensional chess. It was insane.
Right. Yeah, so lastly, I want to talk about what's going on with Axie Infinity, and and really this kind of just shows us the schemes that these projects use nowadays and burning tokens to keep the interest in there. You see Shiba Inu talking about burning more tokens, 50% more or whatever. Axie Infinity is burning their Smooth Love Potion. I didn't even realize Smooth Love Potion was part of Axie Infinity. I'm not on that platform.
Buddy.
Yeah, so that was, I see it on crypto.com all the time. I never knew what it was, but it pumped like 40% after the announcement of them burning effectively 56% of the supply of this secondary token within Axie Infinity. Any of you in this space at all?
Don't play the game. I know some interesting things some people are doing in other countries outside of what's the 10 pound. What's the name of the thing that you can offer so people can play for you?
Oh, it's called character staking. So you stake your character down and then people can play with it and you get passive income. Yeah, man. NFT gaming is a really big phenomenon right now. And one of the reasons why NFTs aren't just for money launderers, they're actually providing people a way out of poverty.
Yeah, facts. Like, it's some, again, this goes to that thing that I'm saying. Like, what we see happening in the crypto space is people are testing out new financial instruments, new business revenue models. And yeah, there's some, repetitiveness as far as like, if I can get someone else to do the work for me, and I know the work generates X amount of value, I can give them a reasonable amount of compensation for what they're doing while I go off and chill. Like, I know somebody who's running like 2 or 3 teams out of the Philippines, and they here in the States. Like, that's a basic, business thing of you get other people to do work for you. But like in this crypto thing,
so they're creating a gig economy within the metaverse, basically, right?
Yeah,
even
like
that's crazy.
Yeah, like even Minecraft. Okay, no, the fuck is the name of it? Uplift is a crypto P2E thing that works off of Minecraft, right?
Yeah.
And in that joint, you can give people passes to work on the plot of land that you have, and then the activity that they do generates stuff, because you know how the whole Minecraft thing works. But like, that's the stuff going on in the space right now. And it's literally just, all right, let's see if we can make this new kind of revenue model idea work and it be sustainable. As far as this thing that Axie Infinity is doing, I think that they're in part trying to, like, one, maintain interest of the game player side of it, but it's also based on making sure they keep the bank behind them still invested in what they're doing. You get what I'm saying? As
Yeah.
far as like you got to please the people who got the purse strings behind you.
Right.
So, I mean, will this work? I think this might turn into a trend thing where a couple other games will start trying to work this thing. But, I mean, come 2025, it's going to be some consolidation for real.
So Ads Can too said guilds are the next big thing in NFTs. Yeah,
Yes.
I've been hearing that. Yep.
Facts.
I agree. Yep, I agree.
DeFi Kingdom, they about to make a hell of a come up. That DeFi.
So how should people listening? Because I want to always add value to the conversation for the individuals watching. Like, how can they get involved with the I guess kind of a pivot or maturation of the NFT GameFi is what they're calling it? How can they get involved and really take advantage of that next move?
It's either going to be the same thing that you're dealing with as far as the metaverse side. You either going to actually be involved in what that space is, right? Or you're going to do a lower risk move, and this is not financial advice, where you'll just get whatever the currency or token is connected to that game platform. Case in point with Axie Infinity, you get either the Smooth Love Potion or I forgot what the other part of it is named.
Just Axie.
Right? So you either going to just grab those two things and then do what you do, or you're going to actually get into the game, learn how it works, play it enough to where you start building up some value, and you could either enjoy it enough to continue playing it, or you can be like, all right, well, can I farm this out to someone else to do the work for me? And I get something off of it passively, right? And the same thing boils down to any one of these games. The other thing that really gets it as far as this whole P2E movement works is that you kind of have to like test out the different types of games that there are, right? Because there's like the Axie Infinity thing, which is more like a card version game. It's not you actually like controlling punch, kick, and stuff like that. There's what's this other one called? One Up, which is basically Mario Brothers like survival mode, Royal Rumble, but it's not P2E. It's, hey, we're gonna put money in this pot. Whoever survives at the end, that's all you.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
So I had a question from J Crypto Minded. He wanted to know. I think he was kind of he was capping on you here, 10 pound. He said 10 ounces.
That's just dirty.
10 ounces. How is that EOS testnet fake Facebook token going? I think he's referring to Voice, which was an epic failure. They tried to pivot to what the hell did they pivot to? NFTs or
they tried to pivot to NFTs.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
That app did
very
flop.
Disappointing. All that money, man. They spent $30 million for a domain name. And then just, I think personally it was regulation.
Yeah, it probably was regulation. Honestly, man, I'm just disappointed in the fact that EOS Block 1 just completely flopped as hard as they did. And investors got washed. I can't believe it, man. Dan Larimer is kind of a scammer. I'll be the first one to say it, bro. You know what I mean, man?
No, so
would you say you got rug pulled?
No.
Yeah,
so look, here's
pulled.
the thing.
Come on.
I am disappointed in Block 1 as well. But the thing is, I don't know if you're keeping up with it, 10 pound, but the community is pretty much taking back over EOS. So they split from Block 1 through the ENF, the EOS fund, right? Network fund. And now they're taking over and going to continue this project through. It's called Mendel. It's the version they're hard forking off the EOS to continue to pursue. So we'll see what happens now that, the token isn't really under the control or won't be under the control. The DAO took the funds back from Block 1 and all that stuff. I don't know if you've been following that, but I think some things are turning around. Yeah.
What, the DAO took over the Treasury? What?
Yeah. Yep.
Yo, that's crazy.
I think that's the first thing. That's the first I've seen in the blockchain game happen. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yo, that's like the pirates fucking waving the dude. That's like the pirates just being like, "Arr, we're taking your booty." You know what I mean?
Taking your okay. So next question is for you too, 10 Pound. Project. What's the name of the project you're building?
Okay, so I am the CTO of Throw Lights, and yeah, what we do is we build embedded systems for our athletes and content creators on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. We have a metaverse project that I'm launching, albeit behind the backing of a few A-list international DJs. And yeah, man, I'm excited.
So wait
It's
a
called
minute.
Bolt.
You're one of those. You're doing the Bored Ape thing. So you're gonna have $1 million big bag behind you, and you're gonna act like it's organic. Is that the plan?
Oh, damn, y'all cold as fuck, bruh.
I'm asking a question.
It's a
Sounds
gatekeeper.
a little corporatism there. Looks. I don't know.
Y'all wildin', bro.
Nah,
Like,
I'm
seriously.
just playing with you, bro. That's
Man,
good.
so savage,
you don't have,
man.
You don't have a name for it though?
Oh yeah, it's called Bolt. Yeah, it's called the Bolt Metaverse, and it's living on top of Neo's VR. Yeah, so.
All right,
that's
cool.
pretty much
So
it.
make sure you look
Yeah.
out for that, ladies and gentlemen. And we're gonna, I guess we'll wrap up from here, man. It was a good talking to the fellas. Let's start with you, Trek, with 2Ks. I was gonna say 3Ks, but I'm a,
Nah, that's Rice thing right there. That's Rice.
Yeah, that's Rice.
I
Right.
hope you're feeling better, by the way, Rice.
Oh yeah, Rice. Shout out to Rice for giving us all COVID. How are you doing, Trek? Are you feeling better? You good?
The last 2 days of that week, bro, it was like the flu on coke, bro. Like, yeah, I was done.
Dude, yeah, I'm so glad that I definitely didn't meet up with you guys then.
Oh, man,
God.
come on,
You
man.
know what,
I
bro?
want to hear it.
Like,
you were talking about, I'm down here. I got a Playboy mansion. I got the yacht. I'm smoking cigars. I'm sniffing coke. I'll be over there in a minute.
What are you talking about, man? Okay, that's crazy. You wild, bro. I don't do cocaine. Okay, you guys are crazy.
I'm not
Yeah, so I met up with Rice too, but here's the thing: I didn't kiss him. Like, how did you guys manage to get COVID?
Oh, it's
Did you
only
raise this
the
question?
most. It's only as transmissible as the measles. I mean, it's only you know.
Yo, so here's the crazy part, right? Of the group of people that we were around, only me and Rice got actual sick. All the rest of them.
No, I got sick.
You said
Wednesday night.
Bruh.
I was in the bed from 8 o'clock till 11 a.m. the next morning, sweating, chills. The bed was soaked.
Oh, so then you had the better immune system because my joint.
Well,
was
I've had it 3 times now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You boosted up naturally. Is what you're saying.
Pretty much. Yeah. Shh. Don't say that too loud.
Right. But yeah, man. Just want to say what's up to him because I know he.
Yeah,
was,
he's doing better. He's doing
right.
better. Yeah, he's good. He's good now.
But on the closeouts, actually, I'm starting on the second book, Sergeant Trek. What is it? Joes and Cryptos without the AR bullshit.
All right, definitely. So people can kind of find out more about when that's dropping from Twitter.
Okay. Also, let me say, Twitter is more of my randomness of the carnival and what goes on in this thing called a brain bucket. LinkedIn is where I actually put out more
that's right. Yeah.
concise thought processes on stuff. So, but either way, you'll find me just by putting in how the name says it. TREKKW2KS.
All right. Mind your biz. Any last thoughts?
Just that. I mean, this was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on. It was great to be on a stream with both Default and with 10PZ. It's great to hear that people are building right now. A lot of people are afraid to build or launch, so that's a big deal. Just so shout out to the builders right now. Something that I'm building right now is that I'm doing a second channel that is entirely beginner focused because, like we were saying earlier on in this stream, we see a lot of noobs coming in who are just they don't even know what they're walking into. They're about to get like clotheslined. Just KTFO'd, right? Like they don't know.
All they see is the thumbnails is like
Wag me. Yeah.
inside joke there, but
Wag me.
the YouTube cock in their mouth. You know what I'm saying?
YouTube cock in your mouth. Oh my God, y'all crazy. What? Yo, bro, you going to get demonetized.
Come on.
Yo, it was an inside joke in that degenerate chat room, in that degenerate DM room we're in on Twitter, boy. I'm telling you, man.
That's why Black
Well,
Money
it was on
come
it there
on.
too. Blood did it. I didn't think he would do it, but he did it.
I did.
Y'all crazy.
So we need beginner media though. That's the thing. So that is something that I'm building right now. Is just beginner media. I mean, I literally was on the phone with a lifting buddy of mine who is a real estate agent. He works a lot with investors in real estate. He doesn't really actually work so much with just like first time home buyers or whatever. And he said, "Yeah, I've heard of deals going through where people want to buy houses for Bitcoin. I guess, is that really a thing? Could you really do that?" And I'm like, dude,
wow.
You deal with millions of dollars of investment capital every year, and and you're asking me beginner questions about Bitcoin, let alone the rest of crypto, DeFi, NFTs, all the stuff we've been talking about. For him, he can't begin. So I'm realizing, okay, we still have this huge market of people who we know, but we might not know that we know them, right? We're so like hyper focused on.
Oh, no, bro. I disagree 100% actually, because I've been teaching people the beginner aspects of tapping into the Ethereum virtual machine. Now, also just going over like the basics of cryptography, public keys, private keys, etc. Like seriously, I would actually drive traffic to your like platform, bro. Like straight up. I'm totally down. That's awesome. I'm glad that you're taking the initiative and putting your best foot forward.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's going to be a second channel, and I mean, definitely, I'll be leaning on other creators in the space and builders in the space because, people need to know that there are builders in the space that are building in good faith too. That it's not a rug pull waiting to happen. It's not just another cash grab where there's a bad smart contract with a with a flush function that lets you pull out all of the raise 1,337 coins at a time or whatever. So, yeah. But that's what I'm working on. Is I'm doing that second channel. Find everything over at MindYourBiz/links or just over on the Twitter.
All right. Yeah. That there it is, right there, people. The YouTube cock, man.
He's making love to the algorithm.
I'm trying to. That seems to work. You do that face, man. Algo loves you. Money shot.
Oh man, it's like pre-Bukaki.
Oh, come on, man. Default, man. All up in your business or mentions. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can just find me on Twitter right now. I'm mostly just posting, technical analysis, whether it's crypto or the stock market. I actually am building a project. I've been building it for a minute now. And maybe in the next couple of weeks, we'll have a conversation. It's deals with gaming. It's more 2D. It's not the metaverse space. But yeah, we'll definitely building. We'll just follow me on Twitter. You want to know what's going on in the price and stuff like that. And right now, looking at Bitcoin, just update. There's some bearish divergence forming on the hour.
25K?
20,000? You said what?
Yo.
I'm just saying.
You said we just hit 20,000.
This run, this pump started with bullish divergence on the hour. That was your only technical advantage on the hour. So I've been following the hour chart and bearish divergence. I'm short. I've been short since 42. 300. So we were online. I shorted. So, just follow me on Twitter. A lot of stuff coming, and yeah.
Nice. Thanks for joining. And Tim Peasy, last words.
Take off the Oculus, bro.
Yeah, bro, calm down, man. No, I'm not even in the Oculus, man. I'm just over here in the HQ. You know what I'm saying, bro?
2G internet.
On that 2G internet. On that 2G internet.
Oh my goodness, bro! I'm just getting hacked, man. I'm getting hacked. It's not 2G.
Maybe.
Yeah, bro. I'm definitely getting hacked. I'm just letting y'all know. Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at TPS0011. That's me, you know what I'm saying?
All
Shout
right,
out
for sure.
shout out to my Octo gang, you know what I'm saying? Meta Cartel, Meta Game, you know what I mean, bro? We out here, we ain't stopping, bro. They're just on them
Speaking of
lanes.
your gang, I
Boom.
actually had your boy Token Gamer on a couple days ago. That interview will be out this week. Excellent conversation with him. I had NFT Demon on. Man, I want everyone to stay tuned for the interview I did with NFT Demon. This guy has a crazy story.
Wait,
Crazy story.
that's the dude we met in Miami?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has man.
He's
doing an NFT right now for the Canadian truckers out. He was part of the storm the Capitol in Minnesota, and I think in Minnesota or somewhere up there back in the day. So he's got a story. So I'll definitely drop that soon as well. But yeah, Token Gamer was on with me over the weekend, bro. Had a great conversation with him.
Yeah, man, that guy, he's a day one, bro. That guy is one of my ride or dies, you know what I mean? Like that. Me and him, man, we go way back. Back to, you know what I mean? Like back to the blockchain center back before Expanos to close that thing down. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, yo, man, I just love the space, bro. I love the technology behind it, and also the people that have been in it, like, for a while and have been building, and they just love being authentic and being themselves. They're not putting on a front. They're not acting to get to a bag, bro. Like this is them, bro. This is their lifestyle. I love that part about the culture and the community.
Oh, that's what's up. So, fellas, again, thank you for joining me tonight. Your host, Crypto Blood, of course. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. You see it there at CryptoBlood_. And yeah, we out of here, people. All right, we out. Peace. All right, people. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed that live stream, episode 69. Hey, and share this stream. People who don't know about crypto or don't know the right things about crypto, they can get it here on this channel with these guys, these experts, some of the funniest guys in the game. So make sure you share this, like it, subscribe, and we out of here, people.
If it ain't about the dollars, then it don't make sense. Got me sipping brown water, waiting from Flint. Trying to chase those bread, though the shit won't last. About to shut the city down like a crypto crash.
Yo,